Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin with a simple truth. Cryptocurrency collapsed the distance between digital wealth and physical risk. What once required a bank, a wire, and a paper trail can now move globally within minutes. That innovation is extraordinary, and it is also dangerous when identity and wealth become publicly linkable. Across multiple countries, criminals have shifted tactics. Instead of hacking code, they attack people, kidnapping, torturing, extorting, forcing victims to surrender their keys. This is not hypothetical. It is documented, violent, and increasing. And the victims are not caricatures. They are founders, families, professionals, and ordinary holders. For instance, in 2025, France saw multiple high-profile cases, including the kidnapping of Ledger co-founder David Belland and his wife, where attackers severed one of his fingers to demand a €10 million ransom. Another attempted abduction targeted the daughter and grandson of a crypto CEO in broad daylight in Paris. Globally, wrench attacks, physical coercion to extract crypto keys, surged to 72 verified cases in 2025 alone, resulting in over $40 million in losses. A broader review identified over 150 such attacks worldwide in the past decade, including 67 kidnappings across 44 countries. This is insane. Today's talk is not about hiding from the law. It is about lawful privacy, asset separation, and risk reduction, using well-established legal structures like trusts and LLCs so that random criminals cannot trivially connect your name, your address, and your crypto. Crypto's transparency and self-custody empowers individuals. A blockchain is an open ledger. Transactions are traceable. Self-custody removes intermediaries. This has virtue, censorship resistance, speed, and global reach. Many argue that if you have nothing to hide, transparency is a virtue. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Blockchain transparency plus real-world identity leakage equals personal risk. Criminals don't need to break encryption. They just need to find you. Investigations and reporting show a rise in wrench attacks. So that's physical coercion to extract your crypto keys, because it is faster than hacking and often irreversible once funds move. In the US, for example, 2 brothers were charged with kidnapping a Minnesota family at gunpoint, forcing them to transfer $8 million in crypto. In New York, an Italian crypto holder was allegedly tortured for 17 days in a luxury townhouse to extract his Bitcoin wallet access. These attacks often involve home invasions, kidnappings, or extortion, targeting not just holders, but their families for leverage. In this new world, the individual is fully exposed. Wallets are personally held. Public records tie assets to names. Social media fills the gaps. And when markets run, visibility increases, right alongside risk. As Bitcoin prices surged in recent years, so did these violent crimes, with at least 231 physical incidents documented worldwide in the past 18 months, leading to at least 6 deaths. Let me hone in on a terrible strategy. I'll keep a low profile. I'll be careful. I don't need structures. This sounds reasonable until you examine the data and the pattern of crimes. We've seen kidnappings and extortion attempts explicitly demanding cryptocurrency ransoms, sometimes involving family members, sometimes involving torture, sometimes in broad daylight. Take the case in Las Vegas, where a high-profile entrepreneur was abducted at gunpoint and forced to surrender $4.8 million in crypto before being left in the desert. Or the Italian investor held captive for 17 days and subjected to severe abuse to access his $28 million Bitcoin holdings. In another incident, a 23-year-old in a Paris suburb was abducted and his partner coerced into handing over cash in a hardware wallet. These are not online scams. They are violent felonies. Being careful fails for 3 reasons. Number 1, correlation risk. You don't control all data brokers, leaks, or public records. Criminals use public information, social media, and even blockchain analysis to link identities to wallets. Number 2, attribution risk. Criminals don't need certainty, just probability. State-sponsored hackers, like those from North Korea, are increasingly targeting wealthy crypto owners. And number 3, irreversibility. Once coerced transfers occur, recovery is uncertain. Even with insurance, many policies exclude losses from physical attacks or duress. The antithesis exposes the flaw. Personal vigilance alone cannot counter structural exposure. Relying on being careful ignores the escalating trend. So you might ask, John, how can I use lawful structures to separate my identity and control my assets and benefit? This is where trusts and LLCs enter, not as tricks, but as centuries-old legal tools adapted to digital assets. From a high-level perspective, what do these structures do? A limited liability company, or an LLC, holds assets and conducts activities as a separate legal person. This creates a liability and identity buffer between you and the assets. For crypto, an LLC can own wallets, reducing direct personal linkage. A trust owns the LLC or the assets under defined terms, proving privacy, continuity, and estate planning benefits. Properly drafted trusts avoid probate and reduce public exposure. Irrevocable trusts, for example, can hold crypto assets anonymously while ensuring beneficiaries receive benefits without public disclosure. Layered together, a trust that owns an LLC and the LLC having those wallets, you achieve what we call separation or divorce. Your name is not the operating handle. Your home address is not the asset's address. Your family is not an obvious pressure point. This is not about evading taxes or reporting. It is about reducing the attack surface while remaining compliant with applicable laws and disclosures, such as IRS reporting for crypto transactions. Why does this matter for physical safety? Criminals select targets by ease of attribution. When wealth is personally titled and easily linkable, the path from rumor to doorstep is very short. When assets sit behind entities and fiduciary arrangements, that path becomes longer, noisier, and riskier for the attackers, often enough to move them on. Experts note that obscuring personal ties to crypto reduces vulnerability, as attackers prefer easier targets. Given documented cases where criminals explicitly sought crypto and used violence, like the severing of fingers in that French kidnapping, or prolonged torture in the US case, reducing attribution is a personal safety measure, not a luxury. Compliance is non-negotiable. A crucial clarification: structures must be established proactively, lawfully, and with professional advice. Transfers made to defeat known claims can be challenged. Reporting obligations still apply. The goal is privacy and protection, not secrecy or illegality. Consult professionals specializing in asset protection to ensure setups comply with regulations like FACTA or state laws. This is not a joke. Kidnapping, extortion, and torture tied to crypto is real. Victims have been held for days, families have been threatened, fingers have been severed. In 2025, kidnapping was the most common tactic in wrench attacks, with 25 incidents, a 66% increase from 2024. Physical assaults jumped 250% to 14 cases. Tragic examples include the murder of a Ukrainian politician's son in Vienna after torture for his wallets, and a crypto couple killed in the UAE during a staged meeting. These crimes escalate when markets rise and visibility increases. Reporting across major outlets documents the trend and the human cost, with underreporting making the number even higher. When someone says, "That sounds paranoid," the correct response is, read the cases. In essence, it's all about responsibility, not fear. Privacy is not fear. Privacy is responsibility to yourself, to your family, to your employees if you're a founder. If this conversation resonated with you, if you understand that privacy is not paranoia, but preparation, then it's time to think structurally, not emotionally. At Numeratus, we focus on lawful privacy, asset structuring, and long-term protection strategies for individuals operating in a world where digital wealth creates real-world risk. Learn more at numeratus.us. Because in the age of crypto, structure is security.